Hundreds of thousands of Americans start small businesses each year, but a large number of those businesses fail each year. So how do you start a successful business and keep it going and eventually making it bigger, growing it? Best-selling author, entrepreneur, and consultant Steve Kaplan knows a thing or two about that. He is the author of a new book called Be the Elephant, Build a Bigger, Better Business. Good to see you, Steve.
Good to see you, Kevin.
I was hoping you'd bring the elephant in. Where is the elephant?
You got one right here.
You are the elephant. Well, what about it? Why is it that so many American businesses, and maybe not just American businesses, why do they fail so early on? What's the problem?
You know, it's interesting. There's so many statistics about why they fail in the first couple of years. But the biggest thing is, and this is going to sound like the big duh, but the biggest thing is that they should never have been opened.
Right.
They had a business model that was flawed, and they couldn't make money even if they overachieved on everything that they wanted to do.
Well, was that because it was a bad product, or they didn't market the product right? Or a combination?
Well, really, what it is, it's the fact that they never really did the simple math on it, the simple accounting on it to say, here's how many people I'm going to see a day, here's how much I'm going to cost, here's how much it's going to cost me, what is at the end of the day, here's how much cash I have, is it enough to last?
Right, it just doesn't work. There comes a point, but let's just assume that you get your business off the ground and it's going all right. There comes a point where you have to consider expansion. When does that point come?
You know, for me, it's always. I mean, the reality of it is, Kevin, people say, you know what, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm paying my bills, or they're a little bit afraid to actually make the move and go ahead because of the risk. You know, they don't want to take a chance. But, you know, I woke up one day and I said, you know what, I got a couple kids. I was bringing in about 80% of the sales, which I'm sure many people out there are also doing,
right,
running the business at night. What happens if I get sick? You know, what happens, God forbid, like, you know, an injury or something like that? The business, everything is in trouble. So
right,
for me, the biggest fear is not growing, and you had to get out.
Right, because if something like that happens, you have to hand it off to somebody else, so you have to have the right people in mind, and you always have to have that foresight. But most people don't have that. How do you get them in the groove of seeing a couple of days ahead, or if not a couple of days ahead, weeks, months, even years?
Right. Well, the first fact, as I said, is getting over that fear of growing. And then once you look at that, you have to understand, you know, there's all kinds of elephants out there. And I use the term elephant as meaning a big company. But if you're the biggest kid on the block, you're the elephant on that block.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have to be, you know, Fortune 500 size to really impact the marketplace and the world that they live in. So the key is, though, is not necessarily just passion. We all, you know, there's passion. Your competitors have passion. It's not necessarily even funding all the time. A lot of times what it is knowing what to do. How do I grow? Do I sell the same stuff to new people or new stuff to the same people?
Right,
what
and there's
do I do?
a couple of ways to grow. You can grow horizontally or vertically. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is if you're vertically, you're really selling the same. You're saying new things to the same people. It's your same customer base. And if you're growing horizontally, you're really expanding your customer base and also your product line as well. So you're really getting depth, you know, and breadth at one particular time.
Right. As far as raising capital, getting the money, from the beginning or when it comes time for expansion, do you look to family and friends or people that you know that have deep pockets before the bank, or do you go to the bank? What do you suggest?
Well, there's all kinds of money. Not all money is equal. You know, we may need all money, you know, to equal. I have at times, that's for sure. But you have there's emotional factors involved with raising money from family and friends. You need to respect capital.
Right.
So you really need to look at it as everybody makes money when you invest with you. But really, if you can, I mean, the best money to get is private money. I mean, because there's the best, you get the lowest interest rates, and when you're successful, you know, other people gain by it.
Well, you had a tremendous amount of success, so we can learn a lot from your story. You retired at what age?
39.
And you had how many businesses at that time?
Well, I had a company, a marketing company, and we expanded to database and many other different areas we expanded to, and many different countries, and kind of got caught up in this in the IPO
But it was
world.
a couple of dozen businesses,
yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you sold it all at 39?
Yeah.
And how much money did you have in the bank?
Well, when I sold it,
yeah,
I don't know. I did pretty good.
Like about 35 million.
Probably not quite.
I just want to see are my notes correct here. 35 million.
A little less than you, but okay.
Okay, no. I wish I had your kind of money. But you're back in business right now. Is it just a love for getting back in the action? What is it?
It's in my blood. I can't stay away. You know, I took off some time to write these books. I wrote the books so that people would have a roadmap, something I really didn't have. And most of the stuff I talk about in there are mistakes I made, I'll be honest with you. I was able to fix them.
And some of the biggest lessons you learned are from the mistakes you made.
Most.
What are USPs?
Well, USPs, I call it unique selling propositions, and those are great. I use them all the time. What those are a short explanation, a short little tangible thing that separates you from everybody else.
Nuggets of wisdom are just things that make you different.
Well, there are actually things that make you different, but there are ways of actually promoting them. If you have a different technology or you have a different formula, you need to brand that and you need to promote it, and you can get a lot of headway from that. If you're hearing the same objections over and over again, you come up with a USP to hit that objection head on, and you brand it, and you walk into your customers, potential customers, marching with this, with this mantra is your new USP, which is solving the objective.
This is a new thing. I'm different. Others may have it, but mine is different, and mine is better.
Yes.
Is the way to go. Steve Kaplan, author of Be the Elephant. Thanks so much for coming in, and good luck on your new endeavors. We'll be right back.